To week 4 of the BTFL Season 3, we have the Eagles going to Lambeau Field to face the Packers Thursday Night Football. Ahmad Green comes back from injury. He hasn't been seen since week 1. Ahmad Green down the left side. He gets tackled. It's a fumble. Wes is Hopkins his way to the 8-yard line, and this would lead to a LaShawn Shady McCoy handoff down the right side. 8 rushes, 45 yards, and a touchdown. That was his only one of the game. Brett Favre would find Sterling Sharp down the right side. He is seeing daylight. Sterling Sharp had a big game. 2 receptions for 48 yards. That would lead to a Ryan Longwell field goal. Sharp again down the right side to around the 7 or 8. Same outcome, Ryan Longwell field goal, 7-6. In the third quarter, Brett Favre would get intercepted here by Eric Allen, and this would lead to Norm Van Brocklin. His lone touchdown pass of the game, 45 yards to Terrell Owens. T.O. gives the Eagles a pretty big lead, 14-6. Brett Favre, in Eagles territory, finds Ron Kramer over the middle, 2 receptions, 34 yards, and a touchdown. Inside 2 minutes, Pack climbing back into this game. Pass down the left side to James Lofton, 2 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown. That was the walk-off. Packers win this game 20-14. They are 3-1. Eagles are 2-2. Coming off their comeback victory from the Colts and Peyton Manning, the Falcons would host the Titans/Oilers. Oilers and Titans are getting back Eddie George, and they're getting back Ernest Givens. Haywood Jeffries would catch this ball down the right side. From Warren Moon, it's a 10-3 ball game. Michael Vick scanning the field, throws it down the left side. Contested catch by Roddy White, and Gerald Riggs up the right side for the touchdown to tie this game up. But Eddie George coming back from injury. We have not seen this guy since week 1. He's going to wheel and deal. Eddie George, 9 rushes, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Warren Moon is going to find Ernest Givens, all the Givens he could get down the left side. 4th and 23. This is an interesting play by the Falcons. Gerald Riggs seems like he gets the first down. They'd review this, but it is upheld. And this would lead to Eddie George getting the first of his 2 touchdowns right up the middle, not contested at all. Titans/Oilers would kick this one off. It is an 11-point ball game. Warwick Dunn, who came back from injury as well, less important in this one, bobbing and weaving around defenders. He's tackled at the 21. It's a fumble. Ball's recovered by the Titans/Oilers, and Eddie George would get another touchdown. Titans/Oilers win this game. Both teams are 2-2 on this one, 31-13. Game of the week, Redskins/Commanders at New York Giants. Brian Mitchell, Saquon Barkley, and Brandon Jacobs come back from injury, so this is big. Eli Manning, hosting the Washington Commanders/Redskins, finds Victor Cruz down the right side. He's not doing the salsa dance yet, but then Eli Manning would drop back, find a well-dressed Amani Toomer for a touchdown. That's 3 receptions, 99 yards, and a touchdown in this game. But Eli Manning would make a mistake. He's intercepted by Champ Bailey, what a name, to around the 21-yard line, and this would lead to Sonny Jurgensen. No pressure in his face, finding Clinton Portis on his only reception for 7 yards and a touchdown. Commanders/Redskins get the ball back, and Clinton Portis makes the Giants eat his dust to the 18. After a few losses, Sonny Jurgensen would find the Hall of Famer Art Monk. He had 2 receptions for 21 yards, and this was his first of 2 touchdowns. But Eli Manning needs to get things back, finding Odell Beckham Jr., catching it with one hand, and they tie the game up. Giants' Lawrence Tynes kicks off to Brian Mitchell. He's usually sure-handed. He would get tackled. It's a fumble, recovered by Elvis Patterson. And then Eli Manning would play action, roll out, bootleg, find Jeremy Shockey, who would shock the world with this touchdown. Giants take a 7-point lead over the Commanders/Redskins, who beat the Bears last week on Monday Night Football, commentated by Joe Cartagena. However, John Riggins fumbles, recovered by the Giants, and then Saquon Barkley would fumble, recovered by Hall of Famer Darrell Green to the 22-yard line. This would lead to Sonny Jurgensen over the middle to John Riggins, former Super Bowl MVP, and then rolling out, throwing the ball down the right side to Gary Clutch City Clark, and then Sonny Jurgensen, play actions, rolls out, finds Art Monk for his second touchdown of the game, and we go to overtime. Usually the team that wins the coin toss wins the game. You just need some sort of score, and the Giants elect to receive. So they get the ball first in overtime. Eli Manning, pressure in his face, finds a well-dressed Amani Toomer. Leaping rocket catch, and now they're going to try for the field goal, for the win, and it's no good. Why would they try to do that so early? But they luckily get the ball back, and Saquon Barkley gets it to the 36, and they're going to line up for a field goal here. 5 seconds left. Lawrence Tynes, the kick is up. It's good! Giants win the game 24-21. Nail-biting game, the game of the week. Both teams in this one are 2-2. All-time great Raiders and Colts. They played in different places, but starting off is Ken Stabler, the Snake, holding the ball, throwing it down the right side. Dave Casper goes to the post. He falls down on his only reception, 74 yards and a touchdown. He hits the house for pay dirt. Next drive for the Raiders, Bo Jackson down the right side. He gets tackled and he would get injured. He would be replaced by Marcus Allen, who's a Hall of Famer in his own right. Tim Brown down the right side would get active in this one. He would catch 3 balls for 53 yards and a touchdown. Peyton Manning would try to get it to Marvin Harrison, but the ball's intercepted. Eventually, the Colts would kick 3 points, first by Adam Vinatieri all season, and to end the game, the Hall of Famer Jerry Rice down the left side, 2 receptions, 88 yards and a touchdown. Raiders win 24-3. Both teams are 2-2. All-time great Chiefs at Ford Field. All-time great Lions. Matthew Stafford starts this game off right, throwing it deep down the left side to Herman Moore. And Herman Moore gets this started to around the 2-yard line, and this would lead to flip to the left. The human highlight reel, the human joystick. Barry Sanders has got the touchdown. But he's facing off against Patrick Mahomes, which is the GOAT of the end of the 2000s to the 2020s. He gets it to Tony Gonzalez. And then he'll throw deep to the first of 4 touchdown catches by Tyreek Hill. Barry Sanders is still the human highlight reel, still the human joystick. Going down the left side of the field, he gets to the 15-yard line. That would lead to a Jason Hanson field goal. But Tyreek Hill, he gets the gun down the left side. 4 receptions, 121 yards, and that's the second of his 4 touchdowns. 14-10. Matthew Stafford, again, to Herman Moore. 2 receptions for 116 yards to around the 40-yard line. But Matthew Stafford would get sacked by Willie Lanier. And this Jason Hanson field goal is doinked off the uprights. It's no good. Chiefs still have a 4-point lead. Patrick Mahomes, play action, rolls out, throws it deep to Otis Taylor. 1 of 2 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown. They go up 21-10. But Patrick Mahomes, he's not my homies. He gets sacked. It's a fumble. Recovered by Ndamukong Suh, and he's stepping on your face for a touchdown. But Harrison Butker would kick it off all the way to Mel Gray, and he would get tackled. It's a fumble recovered by Buck Buchanan to around the 19-yard line. Handoff. No, it's a play action to Tyreek Hill waiting in the end zone. He's got the hat trick. 31-17 in the 4th quarter. Barry Sanders, the flip to the left, the human highlight reel, the human joystick, 14 rushes, 150 yards, and 1 of 2 touchdowns. But the Chiefs win 38-31. They're 4-0. Lions are 1-3. Chargers go to Dolphins. They're 0-4 all-time greats. Phillip Rivers, Lance Allworth comes back for the Chargers. Mark Duper for the Dolphins. Lance Allworth catches this ball from Phillip Rivers down the right side, getting into the red zone. This would lead to a Nate Kading made field goal. Mercury Morris down the left side, he would catch the handoff. 7 rushes for 150 yards. This would be right here to Mercury Morris as well. It's a 10-yard touchdown, his only catch of the game. Down by 4, Phillip Rivers, play action, rolls out, throws it down the right side, diving Charlie Joyner. That was a 53-yard catch, his only one of the game. He would be out and he would be injured. He would be replaced by John Jefferson, but they wouldn't stop. LaDainian Tomlinson over the middle with that catch. It was 1 reception for 22 yards. Mark Clayton gets it started for the Miami Dolphins down the right side. And then Dan Marino finds Mark Duper wide open. He had 4 receptions for 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. LaDainian Tomlinson's only getting started on the run. And then inside of the red zone, John Jefferson would be found, the replacement for Charlie Joyner. Had a great game today, 3 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. Mark Duper with more, getting the slant over the middle. And he would get the slant over the middle again. That was virtually uncoverable for the Chargers in this one. Phillip Rivers again finding John Jefferson, the rocket catching receiver for the Chargers. And inside the 10-yard line, LaDainian Tomlinson, the Hall of Famer, with 10 rushes for 56 yards and a touchdown. This ball would be a fumble. Fred Dean would recover it against Dan Marino, and the Chargers walk off with the game. 31-28, Chargers are 2-2, Dolphins are still 0-4. Surprisingly, Browns are 2-1. Ravens are surprisingly 1-2. Bernie Kosar is starting this week as Baker Mayfield got injured last. Rocket catching here by Paul Warfield, getting it into the red zone. Bernie Kosar would take it in himself, put the Browns on the board, scores 7-0. The Browns would get the ball back. Kosar play action, rolls out, bootlegs. But the ball is intercepted by the Ravens' Chris McAllister, not Kevin McAllister, and Lamar Jackson would find his receiver, Steve Smith Sr., down the right side for a first down. Handoff here in the red zone to Ray Rice from Rutgers, making it to tie the ball game up. Browns would kick a field goal and give the ball back to the Ravens, and Ray Rice from Rutgers would have a game. 15 rushes for 24 yards and a touchdown like before, but Lamar Jackson would take his own number, the sweep to the right, put the game up 14-10. But Paul Warfield would just get started. This pass by Bernie Kosar, and Paul Warfield had 4 receptions, 161 yards, and a touchdown. It's a 17-14 ball game. Flea flicker back to Jackson. He fumbles, ball's recovered by Cleveland, and the Browns win this game, 21-14. They're 3-1. Ravens are 1-3. Bills and Patriots, all-time greats, meeting in Buffalo. Tom Brady would get this game started, throwing it deep to Randy Moss, the Hall of Famer, waiting in the end zone. It's 7-0. But Thurman Thomas would help to tie this game up. He would get into the end zone. That was a 17 rushes, 140 yards. He'd get 2 touchdowns in this one. Andre Triplett would sack Jim Kelly, and this Ryan Lindell field goal would be blocked, recovered by the Patriots. Tom Brady would not have any nonsense on this one. This catch by Julian Edelman would get the ball inside the red zone. That would lead to an Adam Vinatieri field goal. Brady, play action, rolls out deep to Moss, and Moss would get inside the 10. He would moss the entire defense, but that would lead to another Vinatieri field goal. Stanley Morgan, contested catch inside the red zone, and this would lead to Tom Brady throwing it to the man, the myth, the legend, Rob Gronkowski. But the Bills are trying to claw their way back into this one. Jim Kelly with the lofty pass to James Lofton, making it a 6-point ball game. Onside kick. Patriots recover. Patriots win 20-14. They're 3-1. Bills are 2-2. This is the Falcons Game of the Week, commentated by Nick Rice, a.k.a. Charger Dude 95. Panthers at Texans. Cam Newton rolls out, finds Steve Smith Sr. over the middle, getting it into Texans territory. Texans are trying to get their first win of the season, but this won't help. Christian McCaffrey down the right side, putting the Panthers up 7-0. Deshaun Watson over the middle to DeAndre Hopkins. This slant play was virtually uncoverable, and Deshaun Watson would finish this drive off. He would have 5 rushes for 12 yards and this touchdown. Hopkins over the middle, catching that ball. 5 receptions for 105 yards and this touchdown as well. Down by 7, Newton's got to come back. Steve Smith Sr. with the catch down the left side. 3 receptions, 108 yards and a touchdown. Celebrate there, Cam Newton. In the fourth quarter, Deshaun Watson, trying to get his first win of the season, would find Kevin Walter down the left side. The drive would stall out. Chris Brown, not the rapper, would attempt this field goal. It's up, it's good. Panthers, last chance. Cam Newton finds Greg the Third Leg Olsen down the right side in the red zone, and here we go for Cam Newton, the 2015 league MVP. Play action, finds Greg Three-Leg Olsen, touchdown, walk-off. Panthers win 21-17. They're 1-3. Texans are 0-4. This was an absolutely disgusting performance by the Bears in this one. Fran Tarkenton comes back from injury, but the Bears have to be absolutely upset with themselves. Walter Payton fumbles, recovered by the Vikings. This would lead to Fran Tarkenton over the middle to Randy, who mosses the entire defense. 3 receptions for 55 yards and this touchdown. Walter Payton came away in this one with almost no yards to the 40-yard line, and he'd get injured, replaced by Matt Forte, who would actually do something a little bit small in this game. But this would be left off to Adrian Peterson, and all day would get the touchdown. 14 rushes, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns, up 14-0 in Bears territory again. Chris Carter, the Hall of Famer, dives for the touchdown. Vikings win 29-0, and they had 0 passing yards. It's absolutely pathetic. Buccaneers at Rams, Los Angeles / St. Louis, because the Rams played in those 2 cities. Starting off with the Rams, Kurt Warner throwing it deep to Henry Ellard with one heck of a game. The guy ended this one, 4 receptions, 209 yards, and 1 of 2 touchdowns there. Todd's proving to everyone that he's not girly with that short run. And then Kurt Warner would throw it over the middle to Todd Gurley. 1 reception for 41 yards. Gets it into the red zone again. Kurt Warner in the red zone, no pressure. Flats to Henry Ellard. He gets his 2nd touchdown of the game. 14-0 Rams. Tom Brady in the shotgun right before halftime would throw the ball to the man, the myth, the legend, Rob Gronkowski. This was 1 of 2 receptions for 107 yards for the big man. Automatica would make the field goal. So would the Rams get their own field goal. Brady in the shotgun, no pressure in his face, would throw it to the flats. It's intercepted by Jalen Ramsey, and that was it for this game. The Rams would win with the final score of 24-3. Rams are 3-1. Buccaneers are 2-2. Both these teams are perfect on the year, 3-0. Seahawks at Cardinals, all-time greats. One of these teams is going to have a great game. The other one is just going to lay a stinker. Kurt Warner intercepted by Kenny Easley, and this would be an easily touchdown by Sean Alexander, who had 6 rushes for 60 yards and a touchdown. Let's let Russell Wilson cook on the next drive. Pass to Steve Largent. He had 1 reception for 37 yards and a touchdown. They'd miss the extra point, however. Norm Johnson would. This would be a kickoff to Edgerrin James, and Edge would try to set the edge. He'd get tackled at the 10. He'd get tackled. It's a fumble. Recovered by Earl Thomas, and what a nasty stiff arm into the end zone. It's 20-3. Sean Alexander with the handoff right. Switches the ball up to the middle. He would get tackled at the 31-yard line. He'd get injured. He'd be replaced by beast mode Marshawn Lynch. Later in the drive, Russell Wilson, quarterback, sweep left for the touchdown. Seahawks would win 36-10. They're 4-0. Cardinals are 3-1. Denver Broncos host the Jaguars. Final game of the week. Lionel Taylor comes back from injury, and that means that John Elway is starting. He would get safety by Calais Campbell, 2-0 Jaguars. But Fred Taylor would cough this ball up, recovered by Steve Atwater, and they would get it to around the 10-yard line. This would lead to a Broncos field goal. But then Trevor Lawrence would get safety by Lyle Alzado, and the Broncos would take over. 5-2 lead. This is a baseball score. Emmanuel Sanders would get this pass from John Elway, making it to around the 11, and then flip to the left to the Broncos running back Terrell Davis. He had 14 rushes, 76 yards, and that was one of 3 touchdowns. Maurice Jones-Drew would get this one from the return, and he would get tackled at the 22. He fumbles, ball's recovered by Chris Harris, and then Terrell Davis would get another flip to the left for the touchdown. Broncos would win this one 26-9. Jaguars are 1-3. Broncos are 2-2.